Meditation is supposed to bring you peace, not nightmares. But for some people, meditation causes vivid, disturbing dreams, anxiety that gets worse, not better, a feeling of being disconnected from reality. These are real side effects. They're documented in research, actually, and almost nobody talks about them. Here's what usually happens. Someone starts meditating. Maybe they're having nightmares, or their anxiety is spiking, or they feel like they're watching their life from behind glass. So they go to their teacher, they go online, and what do they hear? Just keep practicing. You're purifying. This is part of the process. And sometimes that's true. Sometimes discomfort is just part of growth. But sometimes meditation is genuinely causing harm, and just push through actually makes it worse. A study last year surveyed almost 900 meditators. Nearly 1 in 3 reported distressing experiences, and 1 in 10 couldn't function normally. So this isn't rare, we just don't talk about it. Here's the simplest way I can explain what's happening. Meditation turns up the lights on your experience. You sit in silence, real silence, just you, and it's like flipping on the spotlight in a room you've been living in with the lights off. You see everything, the beauty, but also the stuff you shoved in the corner and the gremlins over there. For most people, that's fine. But sometimes the light reveals more than your nervous system can handle right now. And that's when the side effects show up. The first one is nightmares. You start meditating to sleep better, and suddenly you're having the most vivid, disturbing dreams of your life. Trauma, violence, things you thought were over. You may wake up at 3 a.m. in hot flash, heart pounding, and you think, why is meditation making this worse? Here's what's happening. Meditation increases REM sleep, which is good for you, but it's also the stage where you dream. And all that unconscious material you've been sitting with, your brain processes it at night through dreams. The light that came on during the day, your brain is cleaning up what it found. Sometimes that's healing. Your brain is actually naturally doing work and cleaning house for you at night. But sometimes it's just too much. The nightmares are relentless, you're exhausted, you can't function during the day. And here's what actually tends to work. Switch to metta, loving kindness kind of meditation. I came across a guy who'd been having nightmares every night for 2 months. Weird stuff, mutilation, childhood trauma, tried everything. This pranayama, yoga nidra, breathing stuff, nothing worked. Then he tried metta, loving kindness. Immediately the nightmares stopped. First pleasant dream in weeks. Why? Because metta loving kindness isn't about digging into the unconscious, it's about cultivating safety. And sometimes that's exactly what your nervous system needs. Not more excavation necessarily, but more warmth. And ironically, this can often help you excavate deeper in a much more easier way. Here's something important. The way we're being with ourselves in meditation makes all the difference. There's this blank, sort of sterile idea of meditation that we're returning to the infinite nothingness that we truly are. But within that nothingness you are is also the loving earth mother you are. And that becomes more available the more you meditate. We want to cultivate incredible generosity and loving kindness towards ourselves. Think of it as a giant loving embrace that swallows everything, including the little gremlins that get illuminated, and helps melt them all back into their true nature. We want to give that to yourself as much as possible, and that becomes more and more available the more we meditate and practice. So the lesson here is not all meditation is the same. If your practice is causing you nightmares, it might be the wrong technique for where you are right now. The second one is anxiety that gets worse. Now this one surprises most people. You start meditating to reduce anxiety, and the first week it helps. Then the anxiety comes back louder, or new anxieties appear that weren't there before. Here's what's going on. Some styles of meditation, particularly very intense ones like Vipassana, insight meditation, they're designed to show you how unstable everything is. Thoughts change, sensations change, your sense of who you are changes. This can be incredible teaching. For some people, that's freeing. For others, it's terrifying. And if you're already struggling with anxiety, that groundlessness where nothing is solid, your nervous system reads that as a threat. And anxiety is your system's alarm bell just saying, no. So what do? Switch to a grounding practice, something that's body-based. Feel your feet on the floor, the weight of your body in the chair. You're not trying to dissolve your sense of self, you're trying to comfort it. Telling your nervous system, you're here, you're solid, you're safe. And here's a practical one. When you wake up in the morning, feel the earth first. Feel the weight of your body, feel the weight of your feet on the ground when you walk. Notice that as you go to the bathroom, brush your teeth, you feel the sensations in your hands and your feet. Grounding yourself first thing, because that's when you've just returned from the formless world of sleep. And if you need to take a break from meditating or shift to more loving kindness and gratitude practices, take things gently. You don't have to meditate for an hour a day. There's no quota. You don't have to meditate at all. The third one, and this is the one that scares people the most, is dissociation. Feeling like you're floating or disconnected from your body, like you're watching life from behind glass. This is different from the peaceful detachment meditation can bring. This is uncomfortable, disorienting, sometimes frightening. There's a line between healthy observation and pathological dissociation. Some practices, especially those focused on teachings like there is no self, the ego is an illusion, can really blur this line. And look, those techniques, these teachings can be incredibly helpful for waking up from illusion. I know they were for me, but they can also be misunderstood as just another way of escaping grounded reality. I read about a guy who was doing strict insight meditation who was feeling increasingly unreal, floating, disconnected. Then he had a near-death accident. And in that moment, he realized, I don't want to transcend my human experience. I just want to exist. He switched to grounded body-based meditation, active attention to the solidity of his body, the room around him. And he came back, he felt real again. If this is happening to you, feel your feet on the ground, press your hands together, notice 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear. Come back into your body and consider maybe the style that's pulling you out of yourself right now isn't what's right for you. Maybe you need something that keeps you more here. Because ultimately, this path is a full cycle. You transcend the human experience of form. You realize you're nothing but pure consciousness. And then you realize that this pureness is also the essence of everything, including form. This is the full cycle, the return. The journey points you back to this aliveness in the sensations of your body and its connectedness to the earth. This is something people often realize later in the path. So if you're struggling with dissociation right now, you're actually being called towards the more advanced practice where this is all heading anyways. It may seem simpler, more mundane, but it's actually more real and more full and practical. So here's the pattern. All 3 of these, nightmares, anxiety, dissociation, come from the same place. The lights came on and your system wasn't ready for everything it saw. That's not failure. That's just information. Here's what we do with it. First, change the technique. Nightmares, try metta loving kindness meditation. Anxiety, try grounding. Dissociation, try body-based embodied practices. And sometimes, especially if you've been at this for a long time, working hard at personal growth, you actually need to just ease off. Ironically, the easing off often deepens the path. I've had many moments like this. I couldn't get through a wall and I pushed and pushed. And then when I finally gave up, this incredible expansion happened. So yes, just returning to normal life, doing the other things you enjoy may actually be your deepest meditation practice, your fastest spiritual growth engine. The most helpful thing can be sitting with someone who's also deeply grounded in this presence. This can help you navigate roadblocks and stuck beliefs that may be holding you back. Oftentimes there's just a small blind spot that needs to be pointed out, or you need what I would call like a deep cleaning session, sitting with someone who can keep you grounded while you stay with the thing that's hard to sit with. It's okay to stop. It's okay to go totally cold turkey for a while. It's okay to say, you know what, this isn't working for me right now. That's not weakness. That's just you listening to your own system, which is honestly the deepest teacher. And the whole point of this whole thing is to learn to listen to that. And meditation is happening all the time. Meditation is really life itself. And meditation isn't just this formal practice where we sit in a chair and really focus our energy. It's the aliveness of everything in every moment. And so you're always participating in whatever way you're called to do it. So you can come back later, you can try a different style, or you might find therapy, exercise, creative work serves you better right now. All that's fine. So here's what I want you to take away. Meditation is powerful. In 20 years of practicing, it's the most transformative thing I've found, and it has real side effects that almost nobody talks about. Both things are true. The side effects may be temporary, part of a long-term process that's ultimately beneficial, or they may mean something needs to change right now. You deserve the full picture, not just the highlight reel. So if you're experiencing side effects or you've experienced any, drop a comment, tell me what happened. The more we talk about this openly, the less people suffer alone thinking something's wrong with them. Nothing is wrong with you. And if you want a simple framework for how to talk about gentle meditation, check out this video. And thanks for being here.